What's going on, apes and apettes? TCI here. I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday, but I do want to go over and talk about how IOUs work, and do you actually own your AMC stock? What kind of power do the brokerages have when it comes down to this, and what can you do about this? I hope this finds you guys a lot of peace and a lot of comfort, because this has been a long running concern and question with many apes for months now. So I want to set the record straight and hopefully set your minds at peace. So let's dive into this video. If you guys find value out of it or simply entertainment, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what do you think about this situation. It's kind of shady, but it still works the same way as just owning your stock. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. If you guys want access to all of my trades in real time as well, if you need somewhat of a mentor or a guide, certainly not a financial advisor, that is what that is for. We trade options all day, every day, and that's where you can ask me questions on different strategies, what I would do, what trades you are looking at, and we can talk more in depth over there. And that's what it's for, and that's why we keep it very cheap, so anybody is financially able to join. So let's dive into this video. First and foremost, what is an IOU? And then I have a lot of notes to go over. I've done a lot of research and basically condensed this into a note, a sheet. So we're gonna take a look at that in just 1 second. But it says, what is an IOU? An IOU, a phonetic acronym of the words IOU, is a document that acknowledges the existence of a debt. An IOU is often viewed as an informational written agreement rather than a legally binding commitment, dating as far back as the 18th century. At least IOUs are still very much in use. An IOU between two people conducting business may be followed up with a more formal written agreement. Key takeaways. An IOU is a written acknowledgement of debt that one party owes another. In business transactions, an IOU may be followed by a more formal written contract. The informality of the IOU can make it difficult to enforce and usually impossible to sell or trade. The term IOU is also used in bookkeeping to refer to accounts receivable. IOUs are less informal and legally binding than promissory notes. And IOUs are really a broad term. It's not just for the stock market. And something I want to differentiate, what we just said, it's not a formal written contract. That's at least what Investopedia says, but that's not true when it comes to stock. When you buy or sell stock, that is essentially a contract. You have a right to those shares. We are also going to take a look at the option flow and the sentiment for AMC, and I think that is very important to acknowledge here in this video as well. But the main way that I like to think about this, to try to put this into context with something relatable that we all know about, is say a bank. If you deposited or had $10 million in your local bank account, if you went to the bank on a Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. and said, hey, I need all my $10,000 in cash, they're going to say, dude, we don't have it here. You're going to say, well, I deposited my money here. But that's not how the banking system works. It's essentially an IOU. You deposit your money to the bank. They do what they want to do with it. They don't have to have it in their vaults at any given moment, so you can come get it on your Friday, after lunch, right? So it's there, but it's not there at the same time, essentially an IOU. So that's the way that I really like to think about this. But why are brokerages actually giving out these IOUs so much for AMC and Gamestop? Well, it comes down to, number one, brokerages are making a ton of money from apes buying these two companies, so they are more inclined to do this. This does not happen all the time to all stocks. Sometimes it doesn't happen, like your big cap stocks, your Apples, Microsofts. I don't think this happens all too often. But when you have a huge influx or a lot more people that are trying to buy stock rather than sell stock, I think these IOUs come into play all of the time. Secondly, apes don't sell stock as often as somebody else normally would in another stock. So if you think about this in the terms of an IOU or how it works at a bank account, if you're just holding your money or you're just holding your stock, then you don't normally need your stock back the next day or the next week. A lot of people have been in this trade for over a year, so the brokerages know they can do this. The only time they actually have to locate real shares is when you go to sell, and then it's a scramble, or brokerage transfer sometimes. And then it's a bit of a scramble to try to find these shares. And that ultimately is going to play into why AMC and GameStop are still going to squeeze. Because if there's a lot of people with IOUs, they keep giving these out. Yes, it will somewhat dilute the stock, but they will have to find real shares when it comes down to it. So actually, when people do go to sell, I think that could actually benefit the stock because they have to locate real shares. If there's 5 times the amount of shares that are outstanding in the marketplace, they have to find those stocks. If they can't find those stocks, simple supply and demand. With a lot of demand, less supply, share price will go up. Now, is this something to worry about? Like I said, no, it will ultimately drive the share price up to even higher levels as more and more people buy AMC when it starts to rally. But there is a limit to the amount of IOUs a brokerage can use. They have to be somewhat smart about this, right? So they fluctuate. The amount of IOUs fluctuate as the amount of people buy and sell stock. You guys can think about this like if 3 people are buying AMC, but 2 are selling AMC, then really there was only 1 IOU issued. And if we go throughout this timeline, maybe there's 2 times the float that is in IOUs. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's higher than that, maybe it's lower than that, but there is somewhat of a limit these brokerages can give out for IOUs. But that's still to our benefit either way you want to put it. Now, like I already said as well, you have a contractual obligation to claim your shares you purchased at any time, and that is what brokerages will have to do. So that is really the silver lining here, is that even though your shares say you own X amount of shares, they're not really in your brokerage account. It's like a bank keeping cash in the vault. It's not always in the vault. It's out doing other things, so on and so forth, but you will get your stock. There's no way around getting screwed out of your stock when you paid your money for those shares. They would have to, worst comes to worst, just reimburse you whenever you go to sell in cash for these brokerages, because they can also do that as well. If you go to sell your stock, they don't necessarily have to provide you that stock. They could just pay you cash outright, kind of like what Robinhood does. They don't actually trade the coin, they timestamp it, right? So they just pay you out your money when you go to sell, and they collect your money up front when you buy crypto. So that is the scoop on that. Hopefully that did calm some of you guys down, find you guys some level of peace that either way this goes, no matter what is happening, you will still get paid, and you have a contractual obligation to get paid at the said price. You put your limit order in or market order in to sell your stock once the MOAS happens. There's no other way around that. There's no way they can screw you. And to disable the buy button, again, that's not going to happen. Robinhood is going under. Quite literally, Robinhood is going under, will eventually go out of business, and they have 27 times the required amount of cash to make sure that does not happen again. And I'm sure other brokerages do as well, because they know what is ultimately coming. They have more data than us, and they see what is about to come. So hopefully that did help some of you guys. Now, let's dive into a couple other things that I do want to know. And the options flow for AMC is quite ridiculous. On Friday, we seen these are large orders. So these are more institutional investors, like 25,000 per order and higher. You can see 15 negative orders, 2 positive orders. So the positive order flow is only 11%. The positive value is only $1 million. Well, positive value is 20%. Positive order flow is 11.79%. As far as the dollar amount, the positive value is 1.06 million. Negative value is $4.2 million. So extremely bearish option flows, and they're buying these puts, to artificially short the stock and drive it down, because when they do that, the market makers have to short the stock. And usually, like we're seeing right here, all of these puts are already in the money. So market makers have to short the stock. A $14.50 put, $15 put, $14 put, $15 put, a $13 call, put. Some of these deeper in the money, like the $18, $20 strikes, $20 strikes. And these are very large orders. You could see that this was a sweep yesterday, a $23 put, 399 contracts, $975 per contract, adding up to $389.02 thousand. That's not your retail investor. Here's another one, $20 put, 4,000 contracts at $641 a piece, $2.56 million worth of puts. They are, shorting the stock using puts as well, which does drive down the price of AMC. But ultimately, these puts will have to be closed out, and they are very short term. Like I said, most of these in between February and April. And I do think after likely the Fed meeting or before the Fed meeting in March, sometime in February, we are going to see some kind of rotation back into small and mid cap stocks, just like we seen the other day. The sentiment did flip, but AMC was up over 10% for a majority of the day. I think you're going to get another situation that is just like that one. So I wanted to bring this to you guys' attention that, hey, the hedge funds are using puts to short the stock, as well as just shorting the stock outright. So that is going to be all for this video. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comment section what do you guys think about this IOU situation. Did this clear up any concerns you have, or do you still have concerns? Let me know down below in the comment section. Like I said, link for the buy and sell alerts down below in the pinned comment, link for free stock in the description. Might as well get yourself 5 free stocks with Moo. No deposit minimum necessary to get those free stocks. 2 of those worth up to $3,500 a piece. So check that out if you guys have not already. Love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.